long-term commitments.
You want a Fboy?
He's fine.
None of that. Not just
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book collaboration with Maria S. We are talking to you today about Fboy Island episode 1. If you haven't watched the show, don't worry about it. We're gonna review it for you. Okay, we wanna do something special. Okay, so we've decided to team up together, right, and review this amazing show. It is eye-opening. There's art of seduction in there. There's psychology in there. You know what I'm saying? There's choosing signals in there. You know, there's so much things in there that you can learn. And we thought, why not collab together and actually bring you some of the observations that we have seen watching this series. So if you're new to this channel, click on the like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. Maria, do you want to also let them know where they can find you? Because obviously this is a collab, so, you know, jump in there, sis.
Of course. You guys can find me on YouTube at Maria S. Type it in the search bar. I should pop up. And then find me on Instagram at Maria S. And you'll see links to my Instagram under each video. So check out my video, subscribe, show some love.
Beautiful stuff. So we are going to talk to you guys about Fboy Island episode 1. Okay, some amazing stuff happened in this series, but we're going to deal with episode 1 specifically. So grab your popcorn, grab your pen and pad, and get these notes down, because I'm telling you right now, you're gonna learn today. Okay, gonna learn today. All right, Maria. Okay, I mean, this show is an amazing show. It popped off immediately. We saw the men come in, and then we saw obviously the girls then start to come in as well. And I think the very first girl we saw was it Sarah?
I think it was Sarah. No,
Sarah.
It was.
Yeah, it was Sarah. It was Sarah. Yeah,
it was Nakia.
It was Nakia. Nakia, then Sarah, and then CJ, right?
CJ. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Okay. But obviously CJ's kind of I think CJ takes center stage on this particular episode. We see a lot of her kind of interactions, some cute stuff, some crazy stuff in there as well. Mm-hmm.
I will say that CJ definitely has a big personality among the ladies and among the men. She definitely knows how to position herself to stand out. So yeah, but I think the other ladies also positioned themselves to stand out as well. Like Nakia came through, her intro walk was like
crazy.
I loved it. Like, it was perfect. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting to analyze, you know, the different personalities and how they navigate this scenario.
Okay. I mean, obviously the actual show as well, I think there's some overall themes in the show as well that I think we would love to tackle. First of all, I've never seen so many black men on one show that has multiracial women too. So like, I mean, yes, if it was an all black show, I'd have been like, okay, no problem. But, you know, there was a lot of black men. And then there was 3 women, which was there was Nakia, Sarah, and
black
CJ.
Girl, Sarah, a completely white girl, and then CJ, I think, is Latina.
Yeah, you can see it here actually as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So very diverse ladies, which I appreciate that. And then with the men, you're right. There's a lot of black men, and I think that's because, you know, black men are cross-marketable to different races of women. So you'll see a white woman go for black guys. You'll see a Latina go for black guys. And you'll see the black girl go for black guys. And you see that like play out in the scene. But, you know, it's usually like that. You'll see that on Love Island too, where there's like all these black guys in the villa and only one black girl or 2 black girls that they have to fight over the, you know, black guys. So it's just kind of like, you know, you see the power dynamics play out in this microcosm of society.
Yeah, and it actually changes dynamics. I mean, not the per se the race, but that also does change dynamics as well. Because I
Hmm.
think we're very influential when we're in any space.
Definitely.
And the fact that we're almost the majority in there also changes dynamics as well. But I think what's really interesting for me, I think, is you've got 3 women and you've got what 20 plus men on this show, right? Which is so different from Love Island and
Crazy.
some other things like that. Even Too Hot to Handle, it's so much more different because there's no equal numbers. The men are vying for the position in these 3 ladies' lives. It's a bit like Bachelor, but I think it's slightly different because you've got more than one woman. And people can
Hmm.
interchange. So it's not just one person being focused on one particular person, they can interchange. And I think that in itself creates some really interesting behavior and dynamics that happen when it comes to who's got the power, you know?
I'm gonna just say whoever came up with this concept is genius because that whole dynamic of having all of these men competing for just a few amount of women, that's the element that spices up the season because you see high levels of competition. We know competitiveness, that is a testosterone trait, that is like the masculine
Mm,
energy. And when you put all of that together, it's interesting to see how they compete amongst each other to get with the women and then how the women navigate spaces that are like overly masculinated with all of this testosterone. I think I just made up a word, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think it's very interesting because the men definitely get competitive, and then you start to see women start moving in ways where it's like, okay, I actually have the power in this
mm,
position, so I can, move how I please, and you have to try to win me over. And so, how they go about doing that requires, a bit of
pizzazz, game,
yes, a little strategy, a
little
little,
strategy.
game, a little, playing with people's, listening and
Mm,
talking and filling things out and yeah, taking the power. So,
yeah, man. And I think I think that's why I really like the show as well, and that's why I liked watching it. And I think with even on this first episode, we get to see the later on we get to see the ball with CJ and Nakia and Sarah, and obviously the men are coming in, and you can already start to see, they're stepping on toes. For instance, Colin stepped on Cameron's toes to try and get some time with Nakia, and I think maybe we've been kind of spoiled in the last few years, in the last few decades, in terms of the change in dynamic in terms of how we portray relationships, right? So like you look at, if you look at old school movies and stuff, right, the men are the ones that are chasing and pursuing to try and get this woman. That this woman is a jewel, she's this, she's that, and the men are doing extra things to get her. And we're now in a generation now where we see shows where actually the flip now happens because the narrative has been told that actually women, there's more of you, and you actually need to be the one that actually is almost like pursuing, right? And I
mhm.
think that it's nice. I guess as a man, I think that's kind of nice because obviously then the power comes into our hands. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, no, the power's in our hands. Who doesn't want the power? But I think it does rob the opportunity of being able to use as much testosterone and masculinity that we have in doing that. Do you know what I mean? We're in the year of the metrosexual man, and it's a little bit soft.
I'm telling you, that's exactly right. And, we're so used to seeing in our generation it happen the other way around in these shows, even in like a show like Ready to Love, right?
Mm,
You have a character like AJ who
yeah.
felt like he just needed to be pursued, and all of the women were pursuing him. But that was the dynamic, like you said, where there was about equal numbers. Some weeks there were more women than men. And this society does instill a scarcity mindset among
Mm,
women, especially Black women, but definitely among women in general, that there's not enough good men to go around, right? So, when you see it like this, with the other dynamic, it is nice to see that competitive energy come out to see, okay, how far is the guy willing to go to win the heart of this woman, and it does flip it back around to like have those masculine energies kind of pop out on screen. But again, yeah, I think this whole state of society where the men are being pursued, it is uh, it is a little bit feminine in my opinion, because it's almost like, you know, you would rather someone else take the risk instead of put yourself in a position to take the risk. And I don't know, it just, it's a little bit like, as a woman, I don't want to have to pursue a man. So if a guy is doing that, it's like, it's not going to work, but for some women, they take on that competitive nature. So it's good to see it the other way around.
And just the last point on that point, I think we as men need it. I think we need the challenge. So that's those who are willing to step up to the plate, make that decision to do so, right? And just speaking from my own experience, I think in the last few years, just a shift of mindset that started to happen, that where I'm being more proactive rather than being reactive, and you start to see the difference in your interactions with the opposite sex when you're now really driving like, okay, I see this, I'm gonna try and get it. Now if I don't get it, I don't get it, I don't win. It is what it is, right? But I've tried. I've tried to put myself in that position. And I think when you're a man and you rob yourself of the opportunities, so that's my phone, you rob yourself of the opportunities to be able to pursue, I think you lose a little bit. You if you're asking for leadership, this is a part of that whole spectrum of stuff. It starts at that point, right? I'm not saying women can't, strategically place themselves or even ask, but what I'm saying is, this show, I think, really shows us one thing, which is that how do people play the game? You've got your snitches, you've got your intellectuals, you got you got your bravados, right? You've got your hunks in there as well, the men that are just chunky up in there. You understand, right? You've got this different array of men, and you then realize, okay, now we've got 3 women. How do these men want to compete, and who is going to win? And I think that's where it gets really interesting to find out as well. Okay, ladies, now you've got the choice in abundance. What are you going to do with that information that you have and that power in your hand? And I think that's why the show is really interesting going forward.
I love that too. And the other twist that they add is that some men are coming into the villa as nice guys. Some are coming in as F-boys. Yeah. And the ladies don't know who's a F-boy and who's a nice guy. So they have to judge the experiences that they're having with these guys, whether it's on the one-on-one dates or the little mixers, to try to weed out who's the bad guy from the nice guy, or the F-boy from the nice guy. And, I think that dynamic is interesting too, because then you start to see what women naturally gravitate towards in terms of energy types and, things like that. So that's definitely a lot to unpack there. But also it's interesting to see how these undercover F-boys go about their manipulation tactics to win the hearts of the women. And it is some diabolical stuff. Like when I sit up here and I watch this thing, and this dude is a self-proclaimed F-boy. Well, we'll get into it, but say all this stuff and how he's gonna go about manipulating her. I'm like, yo, and then he acts in the role at the same time. It's like, wow.
Quality actors on the show. Quality.
Like, this how y'all do out here? Okay. We see y'all, F-boys. We see y'all. But it's very eye-opening. So y'all can, catch a lot of game just from watching.
Trust me.
This season, this episode. Like, y'all need to take notes and, learn.
It'll open your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.